Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for coming. We don't usually so strongly encourage residents to come to an event, but I personally think this is one of the most worthwhile events that we participate in as a community. A few weeks ago, someone violated our community standards by writing hateful speech on a resident advisor's door and bulletin board. When this happened, honestly, I cried because I value this community so much. And that act does not represent the International Residential College that I know and have called home for the past 3 years. I also know, as we can see from some of those sitting around us, that these incidences across the university are unfortunately not isolated. Many of us may be angry, we may be frustrated and resigned, we may feel hopeless and helpless, and I want you to know that I have felt all of these things. However, I absolutely believe in our ability to get through this together. I believe in our ability to reorient, refocus, and understand each other better after these incidences. Here to help us reinforce these values is John Fitzgerald Gates, Associate Dean for Diversity and Inclusion in the School of Engineering and Applied Sciences. I will read you a little bit of his very impressive bio. But Dr. Gates is an esteemed organizational scientist, expert in strategic diversity management, and in-demand corporate strategist. He is the founder of Berkeley Management Consulting, an organization which guides corporations and other mission-driven organizations to optimize diversity as a strategic asset. Previously, he has held the roles of Associate Dean of Harvard College, Chief of Staff at the University of Vermont, Executive Director of Global Operations at NYU. He holds a bachelor's degree from Morehouse College, a master's degree from NYU, a PhD from the University of London, and an advanced certificate from the Harvard Graduate School of Education. And now, please give a warm welcome to Dr. Cabell.
Thank you very much. IRC, hello, how are you?
Hello.
Am I the only one in the room? Hi everybody, how are you? Excellent. Let me see if I can put this up here. Perhaps not. I think I talk loudly. So I'm delighted to be here. I'm delighted to see many of you for the first time and some of you for the umpteenth time as you come by the office and the like. I am new to UVA. I arrived here as a first-year dean on March 14th. And this is my first full semester. I have been, as Harvard said, at a number of places, doing a number of wonderful things. But in coming to UVA, this is perhaps my true calling. I did not know why I was called here. I wasn't looking for a job, and in fact, UVA found me on LinkedIn. If you want to find me on social media. And it was because of that untraditional approach that I became very interested in UVA. For those of you who've heard me speak before, you will know a few things about me. One, I am diverse. And if you look at me, you will say, clearly he's diverse, he's black. Well, that's not what it is, although I do rather like being black sometimes. I'm diverse because I'm black, I'm male, I'm gay, I'm father, grandfather, scholar, activist, and a generally nice guy. My diversity lies at the intersection of all of that. Just like you can't tell my diversity by looking at me, I can't tell yours by looking at you. I spoke to a class when I first arrived, an STS 2500 class in engineering. There were 30 students, one African American, two Hispanic, one Asian, and the rest were white. And I said, how many of you think of yourselves as diverse? All hands went up. How many of you believe in a global diversity paradigm? All hands went up. How many of you feel as though you're part of diversity at UVA? Only minority hands went up. What it told me was that if you really look at people, or who they are, their intersectional approaches to life, we will find diversity in all of us. So today is a safe space conversation. This is a space in which there are no right and wrongs, there's no good or bad, there's no castigation of perspectives. And in fact, when I came to UVA engineering, I said to the dean, you know, this is going to work. We must redefine diversity. We will not be a truly inclusive school until everybody is included. And that means every white man as well as every black man. Middle-aged, old and young. Middle class, rich and poor. Women, gay and straight. We're all in this thing together. He said, John, well, what do we do about that? I said, I like to define things. If you ask people about diversity, many will say that diversity is about difference. And if you ask people who are chief diversity officers around the country, how will we know that we have achieved diversity ultimately? And they will say, we know we've got it when we have inclusion. And at that point, I tip up my hand as though I was in church and walk out the door. Because to me, that is an insufficient answer. At UVA engineering, diversity is excellence. It is excellence expressing itself through people's perceptions and lived experiences. I say in my diversity practice that diversity is excellence expressing itself through differences, similarities, complexities, and tensions. But at the core of it, it is excellence. For America, for so long, when we think about diversity, we think about it in terms not just of difference, but in terms of otherness. It's not me, it's them. We think of it in terms of marginality. They're on the periphery. We think of it in terms of affirmative action. I was quite surprised in coming here last year this year, that outside of the doorway for the Center for Diversity and Engineering, which reports to me, someone wrote, when we had the chalkies around grounds, you guys remember the chalkies, yes? They wrote, what quota did you feel? My students were rightly upset. And I could not believe that this had happened at UVA. Today, as I returned to grounds after the election, there was a new chalking on the ground. And it said, your words matter. You are loved. That's the UVA I want to know. When I came here, I felt untoward about this place. You've heard that I've been a dean at Harvard. At NYU, I managed campuses in London, Prague, Paris, Madrid, Florence, Buenos Aires, and the Prague Island. I managed a $1.5 billion state for NYU in Florence, Italy. So I've been in high places, and that's fine. But I felt so awkward when I came to grounds. The word grounds does not roll easily from my tongue. It is a most elite term. Is it not? It separates people, but it also makes us feel pretty good because everybody else has a campus, but we have grounds. But the grounds, for me, separated me from my sense of wholeness. I walked into the lawn. Next week, I'm giving a talk to the lawn students. It will be titled, The Lawn as an Intersectional Space. The lawn. Majestic. Idyllic. The academical village. But for me, coming to where I come, seen so many white columns in my life. Those white columns wore me out. Because for me, I did not know what they meant. They looked and felt like jail bars. I didn't know that I had to stand behind them and seek to find my space, or be like Samson and try to break them down. The colors overwhelmed me. So much so that I did not feel easy on these grounds. Our offices were temporarily located in Kent Dabney Dormitory. No one had given me a tour of the grounds. I was at campus when I arrived. And one day I happened to just walk out and happened upon the cemeteries. I did not know that there was a slave cemetery here. I communed with my ancestors that day. I stood there and I wept. And I wept numerous times since I've been here. It was in that moment of communing with the ancestors that I redefined grounds as hallowed grounds. You see, I needed to find my space, my place here. I needed to find a connection to a place that felt very unfamiliar. I needed to find safety. I needed to find a sense of home. But when I think about those experiences, and I think about what has happened across grounds over the past months, I know that my ancestors are weeping. Weeping not just for African Americans, but weeping for gay, lesbian, transgender, bisexual persons on these grounds. I know that they are weeping for our Muslim brothers and sisters who seek a sense of safety and space. I know that the ancestors are weeping for our students from Hispanic and Latino backgrounds, some of whom are undocumented. I want you to know, as those students said to me, we don't have illegal people in America. We do have some undocumented, but that does not make them illegal. People, humanity, is never illegal. They weep because microaggressions kill the soul. Do you know what a microaggression is? A microaggression is an intentional or unintentional act, that or statement, that is non-physical, but nonetheless disrupts the spirit, diminishes one's personhood, drives a knife in the heart of one's being. I remember a few things about microaggression. You've heard my bio. I was not a very good student in high school. In fact, I had a son in my senior year of high school. He's 35 now, if you can believe that. My counselor said to me, John, you are not college material. We want you to go to Ivy Tech, that's Indiana Vocational Technical College, and then prepare to go into the steel mill like your dad. That was in 1981, and I have never, ever forgotten. That's a microaggression that went to the heart of my being. When I was a dean at Harvard, I had a colleague who didn't like me that much. She said to me one day, John, we don't know who you are. Now, I will tell you about Black folks, right? When we live in these interesting, complex shared spaces, for many people here, you get to walk and live in your authenticity every day. You show up who you are. For African Americans, many of us live a bifurcated life as bifurcated beings. What is that? It means that there's one way of being in shared spaces, and there's another way of being in private spaces. Can I bring my whole black self to work? Can I bring my whole black self to UVA? Can I bring my whole gay, complex self here and be received in my authenticity? We talk about privilege. I don't particularly like the idea of white privilege, although it exists. Someone asked me to write about it, so I wanted to be a little bit difficult. And I write for the Huffington Post. I wrote about gay black privilege. And my gay black friends went off. They said, what do you mean, gay black privilege? We don't have any privilege. We are quadruple minorities. Right? And I said, well, let's think about it from a different perspective. We know that bigotry exists. And we know that in some corporate spaces, there are people who are white and brown and black who are uncomfortable with black men, particularly straight black men. Well, they can catch hell in some spaces. And I know that part of the reason that I've been able to make it through as I have, even though many people think I'm a little bit threatened, I don't think so, is because people in my career found me to be more palatable than other black men. You see, they didn't see any sort of aggression in me. They didn't see in me this idea of the virulent black man, right? They weren't concerned about being women in a space shared with a gay black man, but they could not stomach the idea of a straight black man in that space. That's black gay privilege. I've entered spaces where my friends, some of them, have not been able to enter. And I've done things where some have not been able to do. I wrote another article that I think is really important. And it was titled, I Dream America. It's about a deep and abiding love for a country that I have not been able to get to love me back. It's a story of unrequited love. I'll read it to you, but as I do, I want you to think about it in terms of perhaps yourselves, perhaps in terms of the LGBTQIA population, perhaps in terms of our Muslim brothers and sisters, our Hispanic brothers and sisters, and perhaps don't think about it simply in terms of America, but more specific in terms of the International Residential College and the sort of environment you're trying to create. I Dream America. I envy people who dream vividly and recall thoughts long after the event has passed. I rarely remember my dreams, except one that has been recurring since my childhood. It takes on different characters and circumstances at different times, yet the theme is always the same. I dream America. I'm deeply in love with America, her stated values, freedoms, and enabling of her people from all walks of life to succeed. America is awesome. And I'd like to marry her if she'll have me. But our love affair is complicated. We can't just walk down the church aisle into wedded bliss, as many people would like us to. We have some things to work out first. You see, I'm black and gay. America is white and straight. We love each other, but we're from different sides of the tracks. I've been able to cross the tracks, even living in her neighborhood for a while, so I understand her perspectives. However, she's never lived my realities, which I sometimes resent. America means well for sure, but she's a bit selfish and unrealistic. In my dreams, though, she's perfect. America is perfect when she values me for who I am, rather than as a stereotype. And when she listens, as I share my hopes, feelings, and especially my opinions. I've noticed that she sometimes lacks sensitivity to the suffering of people closest to her. They say we hurt those closest to us. Maybe that's true. America and I are really close. She lashes out when she's angry, scared, or sees me only through her limited perspective, which are like little traumas to my spirit. When I explain these things to her, it's like preaching either to the choir or the dead. I've written her love letters explaining the intersectionality of institutionalized racism, externalized bias, psychoses, and radicalization to help her understand why some African Americans might be drawn to extremist groups like ISIS, for instance, why some African Americans riot, and the cost of bias and microaggressions. But she rarely listens. Her response to my authenticity has been mixed. She's of two spirits, one accepting and the other deeply hostile, owing to her sense that I may be blaming her, not taking responsibility for myself, or the fact that she harbors racist feelings towards me. Some of her less favorable comments have been really nasty. I don't share her confusion about my own realities, including my love for her, which leaves me most uneasy with her at times. If I could remake America, I wouldn't add a thing. She's got it all. Instead, I take away some things. First, I remove her bigotry, because it turns her beauty into ugliness. America's bigotry stems from her fear of crossing the tracks to be exposed to the rawness of life outside of privilege. Fear blinds her to her biases in response to her superseding need for a perceived security. It turns her empathy and sense of right into sarcasm, microaggression, and sometimes outright discrimination. Next, I get rid of her racial framework in which white represents the most preferred and black the least desired. America's neuroses about race has caused me to acquire a love-hate relationship with my own blackness. I'm proud to be black, and I wouldn't change to any other race if I could. But I substitute being black for being excellent in a heartbeat. In fact, I've asked America to never see me as black. Instead, I wish she would see my blackness as an expression of my humanity. Imagine if the blackness of Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, Eric Garner, Tamir Rice, Walter Scott, Freddie Gray, and so many others had been seen as expressions of their excellence rather than criminality and inferiority. Might they be alive today? A lot of people don't understand that as abiding as my love for America is, so too is that of people who riot in the streets against her oppression. I'm lucky to get some love back from her in the form of opportunities, while others' love for America goes unrequited, leaving them emotionally bruised, especially when they sense they've been wrong. The result has been periods of quiet acceptance of rejection, punctuated by brief revolutions to regain emotional equilibrium, personal dignity, and the possibility of a better future. America is more than a country. She's a culture, a way of being through which we come into our own via our relationship with her and each other. Her impact is on every aspect of our lives, so It should be understandable that our feelings about her run deep. There is conflict. We're going through a lot right now. I'm willing to do the work to make our relationship a success. I hope she is too. I dream America. For many students, they dream of UVA. They dream of a life of collectivity with you and in union with us. They dream of their possibilities being achieved here. For some of our students, their spirits are breaking, their hearts are breaking. I had a student come to me a couple of weeks ago, doing very well, and he was in tears, absolute tears. And I said, what is it? What's wrong? He said, I don't think I can make it. Why? I don't feel smart enough. This young man is performing in the top 15% of his class. I don't feel smart enough. Why? Because I'm black, and my classmates don't accept me. When I go into the lab with my research teams, they don't listen. I feel like I can't be heard and I don't belong. I love engineering, but Dean Gates, I'm hurt. It broke my heart. I cried that day. I cried because I saw the possibilities of this brilliant young man being squashed by a sense that he does not belong. That happens every other day. One of my better friends has become Professor David Douglas Muir. Some people are surprised by that. Doug Muir is the professor who on his Facebook page wrote that Black Lives Matter is the most racist group since the KKK. I was mad as hell. I might say, what? When we think about Black Lives Matter, many of us think about a group. Many of us think about, oh, it's hatred for white people or hatred for the police. If you ask an African American, most of us will say, nah, that's not it. Black Lives Matter is a primal scream to dignify the humanity of black people. Why do we have to do that? I was looking at TV the other day in the wake of the election, and there was from the Civil Rights Movement a sign that said, I'm a man. These are men holding a sign saying, I'm a man. Why do they need to hold a sign saying, can we look at them and see that? No. We were in a period in the country when black men were referred to as boys, when we were castigated, when we could not stand in our own shoes as men. Our lives were duressed, and they had to claim, I am a man. See me. When I was at Harvard, we had an incident on campus there where we had African American Harvard students playing on the lawn. And they were all donned in their Harvard sweatshirts. They were having a good game. And the police, some student, called the police and said that there's some students on the lawn who don't belong, like you. And they began a campaign that said, I am Harvard too. See, Black Lives Matter. My life matters too. But some days I don't feel like it does. In a few days, on Wednesday, I'm going to meet with Brown College about incidences that have happened there. These are Islamophobic incidences. We're going to have a good conversation about what does it mean to be a religious minority in a Christian country? What would God say? What would God do? I think he or she would say, you're all my children, and I love you all. I think she or he would say that you've come into this space together, and we will work through it. I think he or she will say, it doesn't matter what religion you have. What are your values? What are your beliefs? It is within that vein that I want to ask you a few questions. You came to the International Residential College knowing that it has one of the deepest sense of values and traditions at UVA. You came here knowing that you were joining a community that models what excellence through diversity is. If not here, where? If not you, who? How can it be that any student in your wonderful community feels isolated, bereft of being, insulted by indignity? How is it? When we think about the election that we just had, I've said to some folks, I'm a little upset, but I understand it. Why, John? Why do you understand? Because many of my friends were hurting throughout the last 8 years. Some of my friends are white, some are black, of all races. Some are Republican. Yeah. Some of my friends are Republicans. And they see a changing America. In 2043, America will be majority minority. That's in just a few years. A sense of being is being disrupted. I want African Americans and Hispanics to think about this. Think about the pain we've had over the years of trying to find our place in an America that we did not feel loved us. Think about the pain we have felt in not being recognized. Think about what it feels like to be a minority in a majority space. Now, from a sociological perspective, engage with a level of intersubjectivity. That is, put yourselves in the shoes of another. We're looking at a change in our society, and privileged people are feeling a disruption to their sense of being. There's a disruption to identity, and it's almost like diversity is such a big topic, and it needs to be, and it's not really big enough, and it's going to get much bigger, right, before we're done with it. But where does that leave others? For whom is this thing? If our values are diversity, and diversity is excellence, and we think about diversity only in terms of black, brown, straight, gay, and the like, what does it mean for someone who's none of those things? Is he or she no longer excellent? Do they no longer have place? Do they no longer have value in a changing society? What's their identity to become? Their souls, like my soul, is weak. Here we are today. We have a tremendous opportunity, and I would say to the International Residential College, because of who you are, we have a tremendous responsibility. One, to value everyone. To recognize that even the voices that we do not agree with matter. Embrace them. Engage with them. Isolate no one. Love everyone. Love them. We are called to be leaders. When I talk to engineering students, they're like, so why are you here again? And I'm like, well, you know, at UVA Engineering, our purpose is not to educate technicians, per se. We're creating and educating global engineering leaders. That means you've got to engage with society at a very high level, at a profound level of understanding. We expect you to lead policy and practice in this room, right now, today, among you. There is a U.S. Senator. In this room, there is a policy expert. In this room, there's the president of the university. In this room, there is a corporate Fortune 500 CEO. In this room, there are change agents and builders. There are frame breakers in this room. Who are you? And how will you live up to that challenge? I came to UVA to do work that needs to be done. Part of that is celebrating diversity as excellence. Part of that is to help heal wounded hearts. Part of that is to inspire a new generation to achieve their optimal capacity. Part of that is to heal myself. We have a wonderful university, and I love UVA. I love this place. I want it to love me back. I want all of you to embrace all of you and to thrive. With that,